Right. Are happening in West Asian region, and we Indians are being impacted by those developments. So, in that context, we have to understand what the government of India is doing and what are the developments that are taking place in our country. So, detailing those things, the government of India has released, or the inter-ministerial group, they have released a briefing. We will go through the details. Very important details are there about the developments in West Asia and what is our reaction or what is our response to those events in a very detailed manner. Those have been presented here. We will see very important details. Okay. So, interministerial briefing on recent developments in West Asia. Some key points or takeaway points are there. Uh, Roughly, we will see them. Over 12,000 raids have been conducted. 15,000 plus LPG cylinders are seized in crackdown on hoarding and black marketing. So this is to prevent black marketing of the LPG cylinders. Commercial LPG cylinders in urban areas encouraged to switch to PNG, petroleum natural gas, okay, which is or which can be a viable alternative. Then states and UTs requested to expedite approvals for laying CGD pipelines. Next one, online LPG bookings increased to about 94%. Then states UTs have been urged to continue strict action against black marketing and hoarding under the ECA Essential Commodities Act. Next one, commercial LPG supply initiated in several states with the support from state governments. But still, I would say supply is not sufficient, not enough. Next takeaway, citizens appealed to avoid panic bookings and use digital modes for booking LPG cylinder. Next one, LPG carrier Shivalik arrived yesterday at the coast of our country. Nanda Devi reaches today. Cargo discharge is underway. Okay, so today it is 17th March. Today we are discussing this video. The next, around 130 Indian pilgrims who have crossed into Armenia expected to arrive today to India. Then the last one, Indian missions functioning around the clock, providing assistance and support to Indian nationals across the region. You see, these are the key takeaway points, very, very important points. Until now, we have seen the other side, shortage of gas, people flogging to the or distribution, flogging the distribution centers, shortage of commercial gas altogether, and hotels and restaurants being shut down. Okay, that side we are reading in the newspaper. Now we will try and understand the things from the point of view of the government, what government is doing, what the government is trying to tell us. Okay, right. We go into the details. You see the interministerial media briefing on developments in West Asia was held today. Today means the 17th March at the National Media Center. You see such briefings are being conducted regularly to provide updates on evolving situation, especially on West Asia. Okay, so in today's briefing, the ministries of petroleum and natural gas, ports, shipping and waterways, and external affairs, these two ministries shared updates on fuel supplies, maritime operations, status of Indian nationals in the region, and public information efforts. Okay. So first thing we will take the most important one, energy supply and fuel availability. The briefing on this one. You see the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, it briefed on the current fuel supply position and measures to ensure continued availability of petroleum products and LPG in view of the situation relating to the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. The ministry had said several things. One by one we will see. First one related to crude oil and refineries. All the refineries are operating at high capacity and maintaining adequate crude oil inventories. Means crude oil is sufficient. That is what the release is saying. Then India remains self-sufficient in petrol and diesel production, and no imports are required to meet the domestic demand. In fact, we export petrol and diesel to other countries, our neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, etc. So the press release says, right now, there is no need for importing these two products. Okay. Retail outlets, about retail outlets, no cases of fuel dryouts have been reported at retail outlets by OMCs, oil marketing companies, and the supplies of petrol and diesel continue to be maintained regularly. This is what the release says. Then citizens are advised not to resort to panic buying as adequate stocks are available. You see, panic buying further leads to adverse consequences. It creates a artificial shortage. Though shortage is not there, panic buying results in artificial shortage. That's why advisory is saying that people should you know should not resort to panic buying. Then about the natural gas, very important update because the most impacted area is natural gas supply. You see, priority sectors continue to receive protected gas supplies, including 100% supply to PNG and CNG, while supplies to industrial and commercial consumers are being regulated at around 80%. Okay. Next one, commercial LPG consumers in urban areas are encouraged to switch to PNG, and establishments such as hotels, restaurants, hospitals, and hostels can obtain PNG connections from the authorized city gas distribution CGD entities. Okay. Then CGD companies, including IGL is Indraprastha Gas Limited, a very popular one that is there in Delhi. Then MGL, GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited, BPCL, they are offering incentives for domestic and commercial PNG connections. Then the government is expanding the CGD network and has requested states and UTs to expedite approvals and issue deemed permission for pending application for laying CGD pipelines, waive off road restoration and permission charges, and relax working conditions and appoint nodal officers to support faster rollout. So this is to promote the use of PNG gas or natural gas, okay, petroleum natural gas, okay, right. About the LPG, LPG supply continues to be monitored in view of the prevailing geopolitical situation. No dryouts have been reported at LPG distributorships, but you have to re-verify it because many distribution centers, out of stock boards or these things are the out of stock boards have been placed by the distributors. Okay. Further, domestic LPG production from refineries has been increased by about 38%. Online LPG bookings have increased to about 94%, while delivery authentication code coverage has expanded from 53% before the crisis to around 76% to prevent diversion. Okay. Then domestic LPG cylinder deliveries continue as a normal. You can say this is true to some extent or to a great extent because deliveries are happening now also. Then several states and UTs such as Bihar, Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Manipur, Rajasthan, okay, they have issued orders for allocation of non-domestic LPG in line with government guidelines, and commercial LPG supply is being made available across the states and the UTs. Okay, but people are resorting to charging excess with respect to commercial LPG cylinders because there is no regulation on commercial LPG. Okay, then we will see about kerosene. In this context, kerosene also becomes very important fuel. You see an additional allocation of 48,000 kiloliters of kerosene has been provided to states and UTs, which have been requested to identify distribution points. Okay, kerosene can be used an alternative fuel for cooking because the LPG gas is not available. Okay, so several states, including Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Manipur, etc., they have issued SKO allocation orders. Okay, then meetings conducted by state governments under the Essential Commodities Act of 1955 and LPG Control Order of 2000. States and UTs are empowered to take action against hoarding and black marketing. Very good initiative. States and UTs are primarily responsible for monitoring and regulating the supply of petrol, diesel, and LPG. Okay, so it's states or UT's responsibility. Government of India, with this a letter dated 13/3/2026, has asked chief secretaries to direct DMs or collectors and enforcement agencies to conduct inspections and supervise checks to prevent hoarding, etc. 27 states or UTs have set up control rooms and are also conducting press briefings. A very good initiative. And several states, including Rajasthan, Telangana, etc., they have set up district level monitoring committees, and others are requested to do so urgently. Okay, so these are the meetings that have been conducted by the state governments. Then, if you see the enforcement action, the enforcement actions are being intensified to curb hoarding and black marketing of LPG across the country. More than 12,000 raids have been conducted, and over 15,000 cylinders have been seized, with the major actions reported in states like RUT Delhi and states like Goa, UP, Jammu and Kashmir, etc., etc. PSU oil marketing companies, they have conducted over 2,500 surprise inspections at retail outlets and LPG distribution ship to ensure smooth supply and prevent irregularities. Okay. Other measures have been also taken. We will see other measures also. So the government's highest priority remains ensuring uninterrupted LPG supply, particularly for households and priority sectors such as hospitals and educational institutions. PNG consumers have been advised to surrender LPG connections under the LPG Control Order of 2000, amended dated 14th March 2026, to ease the pressure on LPG supplies. Okay. Then booking intervals have been revised to 25 days in urban areas and up to 45 days in rural areas to ensure equitable distribution of LPG cylinders. Then alternate fuels such as kerosene and coal have been made available to reduce pressure on LPG demand. Then PSUs, oil companies are promoting digital bookings and discouraging panic bookings with improved adoption of online booking systems. Okay. Then commercial LPG supply has been initiated in several states with the support from the state governments. Then public advisory is also there, advice for the people what they have to do and what they do not have to do. You see, citizens are advised not to panic as adequate LPG supplies are being maintained for households and essential sectors. Okay. Then LPG cylinders can be booked through digital platforms such as IVRS, SMS, WhatsApp, mobile applications, and e-commerce platforms. Citizens are appealed to avoid panic bookings, use digital modes, and avoid unnecessary visits to LPG distributors. Consumers are encouraged to use alternate fuels such as PNG, petroleum natural gas, and electric or induction cooktops, and to conserve energy. Then further, citizens are advised to rely on official sources for accurate information and avoid the rumors. Okay. Then other details are there, such as maritime safety and shipping operations. We will see them also. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, they shared the latest position on maritime activities in the Persian Gulf and the measures taken for safety of Indian vessels and crew. The ministry has noted several things. One by one we will see. First one, all Indian seafarers in the region are safe, and no shipping incident involving Indian seafarers has been reported in the past 24 hours. At present, 22 Indian flagged vessels with 611 Indian seafarers, they remain in the Western Persian Gulf region. Okay. Then the Directorate General of Shipping continues to monitor the situation in coordination with ship owners, RPSL agencies, and Indian missions. Okay. Then since activation of the DG Shipping Control Room, 3,180 calls and 5,875 emails have been handled, including 150 calls and 378 emails in the past 24 hours from seafarers, their families, and maritime stakeholders. Then DG Shipping has facilitated the safe repatriation of more than 447 Indian seafarers, including 161 in past 24 hours, from airports and regional locations across the Gulf. So these are the measures, safety measures or repatriation of the Indian seafarers. Okay. Then LPG carrier vessel Shivalik, it has reached Mundra port and discharge of cargo is underway, while vessel Nanda Devi arrived at Kandla port early morning today and has commenced the discharge for onward transfer to the east coast, including Ennore and Haldia. Okay. Next, all documentation and pre-arrival formalities were completed in advance to ensure priority berthing and expeditious discharge of gas in these vessels. Then major ports are closely monitoring vessel movements and cargo operations and providing necessary support, including additional storage space such as above 90,000 square meter provided by Vivo Chidambaranar Port Authority for transshipment containers. Then reports regarding containers lying on roads outside Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority are incorrect. Okay, containers are currently located at container freight stations, warehouses, or factory premises as part of normal logistics operations. Okay. Next, congestion at JNPA is easing, with the perishable containers reduced from about 2,000 to around 1,000. Then vessels have sailed to ports such as Salala and Kur Fakhan, with one more vessel scheduled to depart today carrying about 200 containers. The number of stranded containers is expected to further decline to around 600 within the next 24 to 45 hours. Okay. Then the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways continues to closely monitor shipping movements, port operations, safety of Indian seafarers, and a community of maritime trade in view of the evolving situation in West Asia. Okay. Then finally, we will see the safety of Indian nationals in the region. An update on developments concerning the region was shared, including ongoing assistance and outreach through missions. Okay. Then the Ministry of External Affairs in this context has informed several things. We will see some of them. Okay, very long list is there. We will see. Okay, the Ministry of External Affairs continues to closely monitor the evolving situation in West Asia and the Gulf region. The safety, well-being, and the security of the Indian communities remains the highest priority. Okay, a dedicated MEA control room remains operational, and coordination continues with the state governments and union territories. Okay. Then the External Affairs Minister visited Belgium at the invitation of the EU High Representative and Vice Presidents, Mr. Kaja Kalans, and to attend the EU Foreign Affairs Council. During the meeting, discussions covered India-EU relations and pressing global challenges, particularly the situation in West Asia and its implications for energy security, with emphasis on dialogue and diplomacy. Okay. Right. Further, the meetings are there. We will go forward. Over 700 Indian nationals have crossed over from Iran into Armenia and Azerbaijan, including about 50 additional crossings to Armenia yesterday. Over 284 Indian pilgrims who had crossed into Armenia, around 130 are expected to arrive in Delhi today. Then the MEA control room remains operational to assist Indian nationals. However, the number of calls or emails to the control room have come down significantly. Okay, very good sign. Means no problem, not that much problem is there. You can interpret it like that. Indian missions and posts across the region are functioning around the clock, operating 24/7 helplines, maintaining contact with Indian community organizations, and issuing regular advisories. Okay. Then since February 28, around 244,000 passengers have returned from the region to India. Okay. In the UAE, Airspace was temporarily closed earlier today and later reopened. Limited non-scheduled flights continue to operate with about 55 flights on 16th March and around 70 flights expected today from various UAE airports to India. Passengers are advised to check updated schedules with the airlines and may contact Indian missions for assistance. Okay. Then flights continue to operate from Saudi Arabia and Oman to various destinations in India. Qatar airspace remains partially open with the three flights operated to India on 16th March 2026 and three flights expected today. Kuwait airspace remain closed since 28th February. Special non-scheduled flights by Jazeera Airways are expected to operate from this city, okay, Al Wasima Airport in Saudi Arabia to India. Then Indian nationals in Bahrain and Iraq, where airspace remains closed, transit through Saudi Arabia continues to be facilitated. Okay, then the remains of the two Indian nationals who lost their lives in the Suhar incident on 13th March have been received by their families in Jaipur. Okay, very unfortunate situation. The embassy remains in contact with hospital authorities and the company concerned to monitor the condition of the injured Indian nationals, none of whom are critically injured. Okay. Then the mission team in Basra continues to assist the 15 Indian crew members who are safely evacuated and are currently staying in a hotel. So very minor details are given. Okay. Indian missions in Oman, Iraq, and UAE remain in contact with concerned authorities regarding the mission, uh, missing individual, and for early repatriation of the remaining mortal remains after completion of requisite formalities. Okay, so from the exam point of view, you can omit this entire discussion, that is safety of Indian nationals in the region. Of course, if you are a person of international interest in international relations and what is happening to Indians who are there in West Asian region, of course you have to go through and understand these problems. It can it in exam it can be used as a case study also. In situations like this, what you will do and how you will respond to the situation. Okay. However, these are the details about the West Asia and a media briefing of the three ministries combined. Okay, so some information is useful from the point of view of examination also. Of course, as an Indian, you have to understand this situation, and as an aspiring bureaucrat also, you have to know what happens in circumstances like this. Okay? So from that point of view also, this information is very, very important. Okay, right.